Good morning. Welcome to the course on financial institution and markets. Today we will be discussing about the introduction part where you will have idea how to define this financial system or financial institutions and markets and how we are defining these terms and what are those functions for this particular system and how the financial markets are structured or how the financial system in general is structured into different financial institution and markets. Before understanding the financial system, we must understand what the finance is. Finance is the study of how people allocate scarce resources over time. Decisions are made across time. Decisions are made in an environment of uncertainty. Decisions are made in the context of financial system. The financial system deals with the financial transactions, an exchange of money between savers, investors, lenders, and borrowers. Financial systems are made of different, intricate, and complex models that link financial institutions and markets to provide financial services for various stakeholders operating in the financial system like depositors, lenders, borrowers, government and others. So if you see that what exactly the financial system is, the financial system is basically deals with the financial transactions and the exchange of money between savers, investors and lenders and borrowers. If you see each word, what does this particular word define? Savers means the household sector or the corporate sector. Mostly the household sector are the savers who wants to save their money for specific reasons, and the investors are those people who wants to use that particular savings to generate certain profits. Mostly the corporate sectors are responsible for that. Then we have lenders. The lenders are basically the financial institutions or banks who lends the money for a specific reason. That reason includes maybe buying the house or maybe the investing money in the market or buying other kind of consumable products. So for any other thing, always the lenders or banks or financial institutions provide the loan to the different stakeholders, and the borrowers are basically the individuals and as well as some other financial institutions who wants to borrow the money from financial system, means they want to borrow money. So the financial system is generally tries to integrate these stakeholders for transaction of purpose and also to exchange money between them. So in general, overall, if you see, the basic job of financial system is to make a relationship between the different stakeholders like savers, investors, lenders and borrowers and other market participants who are existing in this particular system. So in general, we can define that what exactly it does. So in context of the basic job of financial system is to provide financial services, and financial services means it basically tries to provide certain kind of service to the different stakeholders to maximize their returns or to fulfill requirements in terms of financial requirements, or the requirements are mostly related to the financial aspects. So, therefore, now we can define it this way: the financial systems are made of different integrate and complex models that link the financial institution and markets to provide the financial services for various stakeholders operating in financial system like depositors, lenders, borrowers, government and others. So here we are depositing money, and the commercial borrowers or corporate sectors tries to take that particular loan and uses it for specific investments, and finally some return is realized by the maximum amount of return can be generated from the market, and finally the money can be circulated as well as flow of particular money comes to this system, which help in different kind of growth activities in the economy at a large. So, therefore, the financial system basically tries to make an integration between different stakeholders or make them together by that the money can come from the market in a systematic way, and finally the services, the financial services can be realized from this. Now we move to the next slide, the market. What the market is? A market is a venue where goods and services are exchanged. The financial market is a market in which people and entities can trade financial securities, commodities and other items of value at low transaction cost at prices that reflect supply and demand. Securities include stocks and bonds, and commodities include precious metals and agricultural goods. Now we must understand the importance of financial market in an economic growth of a country. As we know, well functioning of financial markets facilitate the flow of capital from investors to the users of the capital. Markets provide savers and with returns on their money saved, or we can say invested, which provides them money in future. Market provide users of capital with the necessary funds to finance their investment projects. Well functioning market promote economic growth. Economies with well developed markets perform better than economies with poorly functioning markets. Types of markets: physical assets versus financial assets, money market versus capital, primary versus secondary market, spot versus futures, public versus private, derivative that consisting of futures and options, foreign exchange where we deal with currencies. So, in this context, we understand about the financial markets, financial system and markets. Now we must understand the types of market. Money market. Money market refers to the market where borrowers and lenders exchange short-term funds to solve their liquidity needs. Capital market. The capital market is a market for financial investments that are direct or indirect claims to capital. It is wider than securities market and embraces all forms of lending and borrowing, whether or not evidenced by creation of negotiable financial instruments. Securities market. The securities market, however, refers to the market for those financial instruments, claims, obligations that are commonly and readily transferable by sale. Securities market has two independent and inseparable segments, that new issues that is related with primary market and stock that is related to secondary market. Now we come to know what is money market and capital market. Now we need to understand about the primary and secondary market. Primary market provides the channel for sale of new securities. The issuer of securities sells the securities in the primary market to raise funds for investment and to discharge some obligation. Secondary market. Secondary market deals in securities previously issued. The secondary market enables those who hold securities to adjust their holdings in response to charges in their assessment of risk and return. They also sell securities for cash to meet their liquidity needs. The secondary market has further two components: spot market and forward market. Spot market, where securities are traded for immediate delivery and payment. Forward market, the other we can say the forward market, where the securities are traded for future delivery and future payment. Means the point of transaction we are dealing, that would be a future date. This forward market has further divided into futures and options market, or we can say derivative markets. With this, I would like to thank you for listening, and I would like to say that you must understand the content well. You can refer my notes to understand the content well. Happy learning, students.